Huwag yung kayong magkadisgrasyahan tayo niyan. Sinasabi ko yung madidisgrasya kayo. At madidisgrasya kayo. Hindi ako urong dito. And I said, I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
So put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, as we gather in this hall, we seek your presence with us. We acknowledge your power over all that will be spoken, thought, decided, and done within these walls. Almighty Father, omnipotent wisdom that guides the destinies of men and nations, we humbly raise our hearts, our minds, and our whole being to you in prayer for our beloved nation, its people, and the authorities that have been instituted for the common good. In particular, we ask you to bless the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, its officials and staff, and its partners in government and civic society. As your humble servants, inspire us to perform our tasks in the daunting fight against graft and corruption in government, and contribute in the tremendous challenge of nation building. Help us accomplish this Commission's advocacy to ensure that public servants may truly conduct themselves in a manner worthy of the public trust. Towards this end, we ask you to empower us with the courage, honor, and wisdom to fulfill our given task without fear or favor. Protect us from the temptations offered by personal gain or advantage, that we may not be waylaid in the fulfillment of our duties. May your mantle of protection always keep us and our families safe and in good health, as we continue to strive to uphold your laws in obedience to your divine will. Amen. Let's all remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem.
Magandang umaga po sa atin lahat, ating Chairman Dan Jimenez, mga miyembro po ng ating komisyon, mga direktor po natin, ating mga partners sa private sector, ang Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, ang inyong grupo, at ang atong mga mga miyembro po natin sa mass media. Magandang umaga. Welcome po sa ating ikalawang episode ng The Presser. Last October 4, 2017, nilagdaan po ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte ang Executive Order number 43 na lumikha sa Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission or PACC. Bakit nga ba binuo ang PACC? Ayon sa nasabing executive order, there is a need to create a separate commission under the office of the President solely dedicated to providing assistance to the President in the investigation and hearing of administrative cases and complaints, and in the conduct of lifestyle checks and complaints or fact-finding inquiries concerning presidential appointees and other public officers allegedly involved in graft and corrupt practices, or have committed other higher crimes and or violations of the conduct and ethical standard for public officials and employees. Makalipas po ang isang taon, natutupad ba ng PACC ang mandato ng ating mahal na Pangulo? Napuksain ang katiwalian sa mga sangay ng ating pamahalaan. Gusto po itong malaman ng ating mga mamamayan, Chairman. The presser, ladies and gentlemen, presents Ulat sa Bayan by the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission. I believe we have a video to play. Now for our welcome remarks, may I call Attorney Manuel Luna, a Commissioner of the PACC.
Morning. Thank you, Secretary Andanar. Good morning, mga partners in the war against corruption. Alam niyo po, ang gera sa korupsyon ay kasing tindi ng gera sa droga. Only that, mas maraming biktima sa korupsyon kaysa droga. When people commit graft and corrupt practices, the entire nation suffers. Whereas sa droga, yung mga sabog lamang sa droga at mga nangangalakal ng droga ang either na benepisyo o na tatamaan. Alam niyo po, kababalik ko lang po sa Moto Proprio Mindanao Mission, where I and Chairman Dante Jimenez uncovered billions and billions worth of projects that are either anomalous, unused, uncompleted, or graft-ridden. Meron din po kaming nadiskubre na mga violations ng environmental laws sa Cagayan de Oro. Sa Davao, may mga nagsumbong sa amin na may mga projects ang National Irrigation Administration nung Aquino Administration and even extending up to the FBR Administration na graft-ridden. Hanggang ngayon, hindi matapos-tapos yung mga dams worth billions of pesos. Kaya nandito po kami para iulat sa inyo ang aming nagawa through our chairman, Dante Jimenez. And I can assure you that you will hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Ang aming pong commission ay inspired sa ating Pangulo dahil binibigyan niya po ng seriousness itong war against corruption at lubos po ang aming pasasalamat sa 100% niyang suporta sa PACC. And with these words, I welcome everyone to today's Ulat sa Bayan, and may we be partners till the end, until the war is over and won. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Attorney Luna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now to proceed with our program, we have the Executive Assistant of Chairman Dante to present to us the PACC mandate and the accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Paul Leo Rania.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Paul, or JP Rania. I'm the Senior Executive Assistant of Chairman Dante Jimenez, and I will be presenting the Commission's first year in office. Before I give PACC's report, a brief background about the Commission, its creation, and the officers by watching a short video.
One of the promises that I made to the people is I will stop corruption in government. I cannot do it alone. You have to be aware of what I'm doing, and you have to help me.
October 4, 2017, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte signed Executive Order Number 43, creating the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, or the PACC, officially starting his war on corruption. In appointing the officers of the commission, the President gave his marching order to the chairman, Dante, wala kang sasantuhin dito. January 12, 2018, he appointed the officers of the PACC, headed by anti-crime and corruption advocate Dante Jimenez, as the chairman of the commission with the rank of secretary. Secretary Jimenez is a former naval officer who served for 10 years before becoming the founding chairman of the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, or the VACC, after his brother was killed by a drug syndicate in December 1990. With him are Commissioner Rickson Chio, a lawyer from Sulu with more than 40 years of government service. He is a former NBI Deputy Director, and he is also an FBI graduate in Virginia, USA, and a graduate of the Australian Federal Police. Commissioner Gregorio Luis Contacto III, CPA lawyer. He is the managing partner of CMLEX firm, a law firm that specializes in intellectual property, corporate, tax, labor laws, to name a few. As a grantee of the U.S. judicial system in 2001 and a former volunteer lawyer of the VACC, Commissioner Manuelito Luna has helped many victims of crime and corruption. He is currently the PACC lead investigator for all Bicol and Mindanao issues and complaints. Commissioner Greco Bellica is a former councilor of the 6th District of Manila. He currently hosts the Bagong Pilipinas TV show in PTV4 and Ireklamo kay Greco in DZRH News TV. Completing the commission is the PACC's Executive Director, Attorney Eduardo Doy Ringas, who is also a VACC volunteer lawyer and last year a VACC awardee in the category Criminal Justice System in Private Prosecution. On March 6, 2018, the chairman and the appointed commissioners took their oaths of office before the President in Malacañang Palace. Truth and justice. Katotohanan at katarungan para sa bayan.
With the directive and authority from the President, the Commission started working. The President tasked the Commission to meet with department heads so that we can explain what the Commission is all about, its mandate, and more importantly, its powers and functions. For the last 6 months, we have met with most secretaries and their key officers, starting off with Secretary Silvestre Bebot Bello III of the Department of Labor and Employment, Secretary Delfin Lorenzana of the Department of National Defense, Secretary Alfonso Cusi of the Department of Energy, Secretary Leonor Briones of Department of Education, OIC Secretary Eduardo Año of the DILG, Secretary Arthur Tugade, which we had a meeting dialogue twice, one since June and another one in July. The TI Secretary Ramon Lopez, Chairman Samuel Dagpin of the GCG, the Governance Commission for GOCCs, DAR Secretary John Castriciones, Secretary Benjamin Jokno of the Department of Budget and Management, DICT Acting Secretary Eliseo Rio, SEC Chairman Emilio Aquino, Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara, Acting DSWD Secretary Virginia Orogo, National Security Advisor Secretary Hermogenes Esperon, COA Chairman Michael Aguinaldo, Department of Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Piñol, Secretary Mark Villar of the DPWH, the Cabinet Secretary Leoncio Evasco, and lastly with DNR Secretary Roy Simato last September 26. While the Commission meets with department heads, we were prompted by the Office of the President to look into anomalies in the Bicol region, as requested by Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs Undersecretary Marvel Clavicilla. Hence, we started our Bicol mission. The Bicol mission is composed of 5 trips to Bicol. The Commission interviewed government workers and officials in the DPWH, Department of Health, Department of Energy, two attached agencies of the Department of Agriculture, the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, the National Electrification Administration under the GCG, Coast Guard, the Philippine Ports Authority, and Marina under the Department of Transportation, NEDA and the Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs Office under the Office of the President, the Regional Peace and Order Council of the Department of Interior and Local Government, and lastly, the Department of Education. Resource persons interviewed include undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, regional directors, district engineers, LGU executives, Coast Guard officials, NGOs, business community, doctors, police officials, local communities, and teachers. Issues raised include Bicol Medical Center, the fish port, ice plant and cold storage, infirmary, and the Causeway Project, all in Calabanga, Camarines Sur. The Barangay Health Station in the Bicol area, the Mayon Circumferential Road Project, the Bicol International Airport, electrical post road obstruction, asphalt overlay in Pacol, Naga, and lastly, the San Jose and Baraka bridges. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we're just going to look at the major ones. Also, we did a fact-finding inquiry last July 25 in Malacañang, where we subpoenaed resource persons to shed light on these Bicol issues and concerns. First is the Bicol Medical Center, located in Naga City, Camarines Sur. It is a 1.2 billion peso project of the Department of Health that is up till now not operational due to several reasons. It is a 3-building construction project comprised of an 8-story general ward, a 5-story emergency and diagnostic center, and a cancer patient building. Construction is still ongoing, and it has encountered several delays already that resulted in the cardiac center being transferred to Bicol Regional Training and Teaching Hospital, or BRTTH, in Legazpi City. If you will notice this photo, we can see patients lining up outside the facility due to lack of space. We have a 1.2 billion peso facility completely empty, and we see this right here, people lining up on the streets. Its current status, it is not operational because of compliance problems, such as non-issuance of an occupancy permit by the Bureau of Fire Protection due to deficiencies. DOH, though, has given assurance to hasten the completion of the project and to address these compliance problems. Up next is the Calabanga Fish Port, located in Barangay Sabang, Calabanga, Camarines Sur. This was inaugurated by the previous administration in May of 2016, and it wasn't operational up until 2 months ago. This is a 50 million peso project. Together with the fish port in the same compound is the Calabanga Ice Plant and Cold Storage Facility for a total project cost of 96 million, because this one is 46 million. As you can see from the photos, the ice plant and cold storage are unused and still in new condition. So ika nga nila, lumang bago po itong facility. Here is the inauguration of the facilities in May of 2016. And here it is now, operating just 2 months after the Commission took cognizance of the problem. The ice plant and cold storage were turned over to the local government of Calabanga last July. The facilities are now operational, and fisher folks in the area are enjoying substantially cheaper ice for their catch. Less cost means more money in their pockets. Next is the Calabanga Infirmary, a project of the Department of Health, inaugurated in 2016 as well, with a total project cost of 20 million pesos, just for the structure alone. We all have heard the term white elephant, right? Well, this project is a white cow because the facility has seen more cows than patients. It sits in the middle of a farm 5 kilometers from the town proper of Calabanga. Jokingly said by a resident, kung pupunta ka dito para manganak, nag-kinder na anak mo, hindi ka pa nakakaabot. What's the status now? There is no building permit, no safety clearance, no utilities, water and power, no access road, no flooring, and we have observed substandard construction and materials used. Next is the Barangay Health Station, which is a national project by the Department of Health with a total project cost of 8.1 billion pesos, of which the government already spent 1.5 billion as mobilization fund. What you see here are photos of different barangay health stations. Yes, those pavements are the barangay health stations. These photos are all in Albay. And these ones are from Legazpi City. And unfortunately, it paints the same picture, only pavements. This last barangay health station is in Rawis, Legazpi, and is a bit special to the commission. If you will see, instead of putting waste, the BHS, the teachers use the pavement as a garden to at least beautify the school. What's sad is you're now looking at a 1.2 million peso school garden at the expense of the government. The status now, as of latest, the project has been stopped already by the DOH. The pavement on the photos was used as justification by contractors to bail the government. Out of the 36 locations that we checked, 23 are at 31% completion, which is the pavement, that's 31%. And the rest are completely non-existent. The next project is a project that was in the news last year, the Mayon Circumferential Road. The construction that we check is the one in Bonga Albay, a 50 million peso contract with SunWest Construction. This is part of the Mayon Circumferential Road. Now, a little background on this project. It is an estimated 7 billion peso project by the Department of Public Works and Highways, a 261 kilometers circumferential road. Maganda po sana ang plano, and if only it wasn't built inside the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone, which according to PILVOX is a no man's land, meaning there should be no human activity inside this zone whatsoever. What's worse is that the project started without the approval of PIVOX and the required permit from the DENR, such as the Environmental Compliance Certificate, or the ECC, and tree cutting permit. According to DENR last year, they will be filing criminal and other charges against DPWH executives for violations committed. That's it for the Bicol mission. The commission also just recently conducted a motu proprio Mindanao mission that ended 2 days ago. The team was led by Commissioner Manuelito Luna, who is the lead investigator for Mindanao concerns. The mission was between September 24 till October 2. Departments involved are the DENR, the DPWH, the National Food Authority, under the DA, the National Irrigation Administration, and the NCIP under the Office of the Cabinet Secretary, the Bureau of Treasury under the Department of Finance, DBM, and NEDA and the National Housing Authority under the Office of the President. Resource persons called during the fact-finding were undersecretaries, regional directors and managers, LGU officers, lawyers, consultants, and military personnel. Further updates will be given in the next few weeks regarding this mission. Now for the numbers which I know the media loves, how many reports has the Commission received? The total number of documents and reports for the first 6 months is 411. Out of that, 59 complaints are complaints deemed verifiable, meaning complaints that are not anonymous and attached supporting documents. Unverified reports are reports that are either anonymous, do not include supporting documents, reports that are yet to be verified, and reports that are outside the Commission's jurisdiction. On the right is a ranking of the department or agency that received the most number of reports. At number 4 are the Department of Foreign Affairs, DOTR, DA, and the NCIP. At number 3 are the Department of Finance and the DENR. Number 2 are GOCC, or government-owned or controlled corporations. And at number 1 is the Department of Public Works and Highways. Now for updates on major cases that the Commission handled, including entrapment operations. As directed by the President, the Commission took cognizance of the dismissal of the cases of Peter Lim and Kerwin Espinosa by Pasay prosecutors. The prosecutors were given suspensions, and a second panel of prosecutors was created to reinvestigate the case, which eventually resolved to file the necessary criminal charges against Mr. Lim and Mr. Espinosa. It is now for the Commission's final resolution. Next is the case against former Undersecretary Dominador Sai of the Department of Labor and Employment. The President heard firsthand the 6.8 million extortion incident, which resulted to the forced resignation of Undersecretary Sai. PACC has resolved the case, and a criminal complaint was ordered against the Undersecretary. Next is a corruption case through a smuggling syndicate at NAIA. This is an entrapment operation headed by Commissioner Greco Bellica and the Commissioner's Executive Director, Attorney Eduardo Bringas. This is a modus in NAIA involving Bureau of Customs and other government officials wherein the sundo system is used to avoid paying taxes and detection of illicit goods. This resulted to the sacking of a DOJ Assistant Secretary and suspension of 3 Pasay prosecutors. Also, a criminal case will be referred by the Commission to the Office of the Ombudsman. In June of this year, in coordination with the Special Task Force of the NBI, the Commission conducted an entrapment operation versus 3 BIR officers who were extorting 600,000 pesos from a restaurant business owner. These 3 erring BIR personnel were preventively suspended and are facing criminal and administrative cases filed with the Office of the Ombudsman. Next is the corruption in the V. Luna Medical Center. This is a military hospital, something very close to the President. Kaya na lang ang galit ni Presidente when the Commission presented a whistleblower to the President and he saw the suffering endured by the victim, a Filipino soldier. In coordination with the DND and AFP, a cartel in the Health Services Command Office was discovered. As of today, 20 top brass officials in the Health Services Command Office have been ordered by the AFP Chief of Staff, including the Commander and the Management and Fiscal Office Chief, that will be subjected to a court-martial. Upon firing of the entire management and board of directors of Nayong Pilipino, by the President, the Commission took cognizance of the case and is now under investigation by the Commission. And lastly is the most recent one. It involves DPWH District Engineering Office in Pasig City, wherein the staff of a district engineer was caught on video accepting part of a 4.1 million extortion in favor of a 70 million peso steel parking project in San Juan. This case has been referred to the DPWH, and Secretary Villar vowed to investigate and file appropriate charges and suspension to those involved. And that concludes the report and update for the first 6 months of the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Mga kababayan, ang chairman ng PACC, Secretary Dante Jimenez.
December 20, 1990. My brother was shot by a drug syndicate because of mistaken identity. After a year, my father had a heart stroke because of the sadness that he felt. He carried it. When my grandmother saw the coffin of my father, she fell down and she wasn't able to recover. She died after 4 months of grief. I lost 3 loved ones, Chris, I tell you.
First of all, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Secretary Martin Andanar of PCOO, Undersecretary Marbel Clabesilia, the Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs, Professor Ed Tayaw of the Constituent Committee studying the change of the system of government, my fellow commissioners, and members and staff of PACC, my fellow advocates in crime and corruption, the PACC, the Coalition Against Corruption, the Vanguard of the Philippines, Constitutional Vanguard of the Philippines. Good morning, magandang umaga, Assalamu alaikum to our countrymen. God created man not to be bad, but the environment and system where he lives makes some man become bad. A pleasant good day to everyone. The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, the PACC, feels honored and privileged to welcome the guests and members of media to this event dubbed as Ulat sa Bayan, dedicated to bringing the issue of corruption to the national center stage. Corruption is a serious problem in this country. Let me start by thanking the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for his strong leadership and sincere commitment in fighting corruption in the country. The President may not be physically present today, but in spirit, his political will to champion the battle against corruption resonates loud and clear in his presidential policy moves and pronouncements. To the PACC. Ano ang bulok na kalakaran? Corruption is a blight to good governance. It runs counter to the government efforts at helping Filipinos get a better life because it rewards those who pocket money, public funds, to enrich themselves at the expense of the man in the street. Corruption breeds discontent, erodes public trust in government, and undermines the rule of law, not to mention its devastating economic consequences. Corruption results to poverty, crimes, illegal drugs, and worst, rebellion. A bulok na kalakaran, or a rotten culture of corruption, has wormed its way into our executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government, from top to bottom. Since we started receiving complaints in March 2018, up to the end of September 2018, the PACC has received a total of 59 verifiable complaints against various government departments and agencies. Verifiable complaints are complaints supported by documents whose veracity can be readily checked. The Department of Public Works, I'd like to call the attention of Secretary Mark Villar, had the most number of verifiable complaints received and topping the list. As the alter ego of the President on public works and highways, it is the responsibility of all department heads to be accountable to the people. The number of verifiable complaints against the government-owned and controlled corporations, or GOCC, I would like to call the attention of Secretary Manuel Dagpin, is also high, placing these agencies second in the list. And these are government-owned controlled corporations, or GOCC. The Bureau of Environment and Natural Resources and the Department of Finance, which the Bureau of Internal Revenue and the Bureau of Customs are under this department, is tied for the number 3 ranking, completing the top 4. And I would like to call the attention of Secretary Carlos Dominguez of the Department of Finance. Completing the top 4 of the PACC list are the Department of Agriculture, Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Transportation, the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, and the Department of Labor and Employment. In the same way, I call all the heads of these agencies to be accountable to the people. Corruption in the construction industry. At this point, we would like to touch more extensively on corruption in the infrastructure and construction industry, because early reports and the fact-finding missions we have so far undertaken tend to underscore this problem. These were observed during the Bicol and ongoing Mindanao missions, and during a presentation by a contractor, victim of an extortion video, as shown before, involving 4.1 million, allegedly by District Engineer Roberto Nicolas of South District Engineering Office of the Department of Public Works, together with 4 other Department of Public Works personnel on August 13, 2018 in Pasig City. A top-ranking official of the Public Works confided to the chairman of the PACC that corruption in public works, in the Department of Public Works, projects are usually done by district engineers as influenced by politicians and usually congressmen in the various congressional districts in the country. How about the situation in the 3 branches of government? Executive branch. In 2013, a senator revealed that he and some colleagues allegedly received 50 million pesos as incentive for voting to impeach former Chief Justice Renato Corona in May 2012. And on top of their PDAF allocations, an unconverted fact was Secretary Abad's admission that the 50 million pesos channeled to the senators came from these funds. The cross-border transfer of funds, for example, funds of the executive department transferred to the legislative department, was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, among others, in 2014. The Office of the Ombudsman indicted this year the former President Benigno Simeon Aquino III and his secretary, Florencio Abad, for mere usurpation of legislative power, a decision which the Commission and many other non-government organizations fighting corruption called a mere slap on the wrist that reeks of selective justice. Only this August 18, the commanding officer of the AFP, Health Services Command, as previously shown, and the AFP Medical Center, also known as VLUNA, under the Department of National Defense, and 20 others were ordered relieved to face martial law, court-martial, for their alleged involvement in anomalous transactions, and has been set for trial. The BIR and Customs, or the Bureau of Customs, are among the most corrupt collecting agencies and have been involved in cases of embezzlement and extortion. A typical example was when the PACC jointly with the NBI entrapped and arrested, based on a tip-off, 3 BIR personnel in Makati City for attempting to extort 600,000 pesos from a businessman in a joint entrapment operation conducted in Green Hills, San Juan, in June 2018. Let me now request and call a BIR personnel, a BIR official who have been with BIR for 2 decades, to provide us with a 5 minutes detailed operation at BIR. Please.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ang PICC ay patuloy na nagbabantay sa korupsyon sa ating bansa. Ang korupsyon, sa pagtagal ng panahon, ay naging bahagi ng sistema. Ilang leader na ang nagdaan, pero nasa sistema pa rin hanggang ngayon. Kaya lang, may PICC na. Tingnan po natin. As observed, minsan, registration pa lang, may red tape or under the table na. Kapag wala, pinapahirapan kung ano-ano ang hinihingi. Simpleng TIN card, maraming dahilan. Kesyo offline, walang card na available, pero kapag inabutan, ginagawa ng paraan. Pumunta ka sa iba't ibang district, subukan mong mag-process ng registration at meron silang iba't ibang sistema. Sa libro, sa resibo, at kung ano-ano pa. Isama na natin yung mga one-time transaction. Kagaya halimbawa ng pagbebenta ng lupa. Kung ano-anong diskarte. Nandyan yung bigyan ng mataas na zonal. May mas mababa naman pala. Patagalin sa review. Minsan sasabihin, subject sa VAT. Magugulat ka na lang sa computation. Then, under the table will follow. Kanya-kanyang diskarte. 5 days to process rule, hindi nasusunod. Meron pang taxpayers compliance verification drive na maayos sana kung hindi hinahaluan ng kalokohan. Nandyan yung lalagyan ka ng kung ano-anong violations. Pagkatapos, kapag bayaran na, may areglo naman na. Selective ang pinupuntahan, hindi naman sila consistent sa kanilang ginagawa. turuan dapat ang mga taxpayer paano mag-comply. Ang masama kasi, may mga empleyado na nagte-take advantage. Instead na turuan ng tama, tinuturuan paano mag-shortcut, leading to red tape or under the table. Yung TCVD and surveillance, ito yung pinagmulan ng joint operation ng PACC at NBI. The Regional Investigation Division conducted TCVD and surveillance. Ano ba ang RID? Siya dapat ang tumatayo na pulis ng BIR. Kung may problema sa mga empleyado, iimbestigahan nila. Kung may problema sa mga taxpayer, iimbestigahan nila. But in this case, sila yung na-entrap. Tingnan natin. Yung ginawa nila, kung ano-anong violations ang inilagay. Mataas ang assessment based on estimate naman. Tinakot pa na ipapauplan kandado. Tinakot na sasampahan ng kaso sa DOJ. Pagkatapos, pahingi ng kalahati at kami na ang bahala. Pati amendment ng VAT ng taxpayer pinakialaman. Yan po ay pinakita during the entrapment operation ng PACC at NBI. Hindi sila dapat nag-amend ng VAT returns based on estimate. Ito ay isang tahasang pagmamalabis sa kapangyarihan. Yung hepe nga, patay mali siya. Hindi naman mabubuo ang lagayan ng walang approval ng hepe. Siya yung pumipirma ng notices at computation ng assessment worth 1.4 million in this case. Ipinakita po natin yan during the entrapment operation. Pagkatapos yung payment form, pinakita din po natin yan. Magkano lang? 20,000 lang. Ano yan? Magic? Yung lagayan na yan, kung titignan nyo, 100% of unreceipted, pag-usapan natin. Sa nangyari, systematic ang lahat. Kung hindi yan na-entrap through joint operation ng PACC and NBI, magkakaroon yan na remittance sa hepe, pataas. Pag-usapan po natin yung 100% na lagayan. Yan. Kagaya po na sinabi ko, ito ay naging sistema na sa tagal ng panahon. Nag-iiba-iba lang yung porsyento na napupunta sa kanila. Pero ang sistema at proseso, ganyan. Yung 40 to 50% mapupunta doon sa gumawa, sa may hawak, sa may audit. In this case, sa RID, dapat sana doon sa tatlo. Depende na lang sa happy nila. Dahil nga na-entrap na natin, napigilan natin. Pero kung hindi natin napigilan yan, hindi nagkaroon ng entrapment operation ng NBI at PACC, aakyat yan hanggang sa taas. So, sa nakita nating nangyayari, after ng entrapment na yan, nag-isip-isip na sila. Kaya lang, ano ba yung inisip nila? Nadagdagan ng security features sa mga offices nila para hindi makapasok kung sino man yung nagbabalak na magkaroon o magsagawa ng entrapment. Sa halip na mag-isip kung ano yung mga procedures na dapat gawin para maiwasan ang korupsyon. Isa pa, good eggs are being eradicated. Baligtad, kapag gumawa ka ng tama, mukha kang masama. Sa mga kawatan, sabi at pakinggan galing sa PICC, you should stop, else be entrapped. Yan lang po.
At the Bureau of Customs, under the Department of Finance, high-ranking government officials were reportedly cuddling a gold smuggling syndicate operating at the NAIA, prompting the PACC to conduct an investigation jointly with the NBI, which was shown a while ago. The PACC recommended the suspension of the three prosecutors, one former district collector, a lawyer from the Customs Division, and a flight supervisor and the conduct of lifestyle checks on the respondents. On the legislative, the Napoles pork barrel scam in 2013 that implicated several members of Congress involving a mind-boggling 10 billion pesos of public funds over 10 years drew attention to this misuse or pork barrel. PDAF are discretionary funds for use of members of the House of Representatives for their projects. It was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in 2013, while the Disbursement Acceleration Program, DAP, was declared unconstitutional in 2014. DAP is exclusively during the Aquino administration that malversed 149 billion pesos. DAP is the worst pork barrel of all. Today, the Congress continues to use the pork barrel system, even after the Belgica ruling that declared it unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in 2013. May I ask my commissioner now, Greco Belgica, to expound this system in Congress.
Good morning. The pork barrel system, legislative PDAF for Congress, and executive pork barrel for the executive department are lump sum discretionary funds given to politicians that is prone to corruption. I would say that Congress today is the most corrupt institution we have. We have 300 demigods who play and treat money as if it is their own. Even after the Supreme Court ruling, they still continue to use the pork barrel system. And in fact, they use this to hostage and blackmail the executive department to give them what they want. These are lump sum discretionary funds that allows congressmen or senators to choose their contractors and hold on to the district engineers or the agencies concerned, and to threaten them in many different ways. This is an open secret to all of us. That's why I am to the opinion that Congress really should be abolished. Next slide. The flow chart of how the pork barrel works. DBM asks lawmakers to submit the list of projects to be found from the pork barrel allocations. Lawmakers submit to DBM the list. Implementing agencies execute projects and conducts bidding or negotiated purchase. Contractors or suppliers offer their goods and services. Rate of kickbacks negotiated with lawmakers that we clearly seen in the Napoles controversy. DBM issues special allotment release orders. This system should not even be practiced, because when you're a congressman or you're part of the legislative body, it is really your role to put in the budget what projects you need for your district. So you don't need to get lump sum 70 million, 300 million for senators, 70 million for congressman during the time of Aquino. But after now that they don't use a PDAF anymore as an item, but they continue to use a system and hide it in the executive branches and threatens the executive departments to cooperate with them. That is the truth. Next. Contractors, commences work, and supplies delivery. These are negotiated workers and contractors that reports already to the congressmen. Next. In 2013, we questioned the constitutionality of the pork barrel system, among which is the PDAF. The Supreme Court sided with us with a majority decision, or with a 14-0 decision. That is called the Bellica ruling. I was with Attorney Bringas already during that time, and then the following year, DAP, which is the worst kind of pork barrel, because this has no legal cover at all, was also declared unconstitutional. Manny Luna was already there also. Next. PDAF, after it was declared unconstitutional, and even after it was declared unconstitutional, we see 2015, 2016, 2017, there are still rumors of pork barrel and PDAF. Next. But they don't call it PDAF anymore. And recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, we've seen in the news that the Congressmen had been fighting for the 52 billion pesos pork barrel in the 29 budget. I'll show you. Okay, this is a committee report that was done by the Committee on Appropriations, showing that 55 billion pesos was of the Executive Department's fund, of the Office of the President's fund, was being held and to be distributed to their choiced agencies of whatever. That's 55 billion pesos. This is classic pork barrel happening in Congress today. Ngayon po, nagsisisihan sila kung sino raw po talagang gumawa nito. Sinisisi ng grupo ni Nograles si Andaya, sinisisi ng grupo ni Andaya si Nograles. But just the same, pinag-aagawan lang po nila dyan, sino nga hawak ng 55 billion pesos na yan. This is so evil that it has to be put to stop. And if you will ask me what we will do, I will not tell you today what, but we are preparing something about it. And I hope everybody will help, because if we really want change, we cannot allow the same people to remain. Maraming salamat po.
The power of the purse is wielded by Congress through the national government budget. Departments prepare the budget and present the budget to DBM. In turn, DBM presents the budget to the House. The House Committee on Appropriations conducts a budget hearing and prepares a committee report to be approved at the plenary. Next, the House delivers the budget to the Senate, which also conducts hearing and prepares committee report for approval of the Senate. The House and Senate reconcile their versions in the bicameral conference committee. And the final budget approved by Congress is presented to the President for signing of the General Appropriations Act, or GAA. This prescribed process, however, gets subverted in practice. The government has been defrauded of billions from commissions and kickbacks with the use of congressional pork barrels. In an interview with media, a senator exposed the hundreds of billions of pork allotments are hidden in the proposed 2019 national budget. On the judiciary, as a justice advocate in the past 28 years, starting in 1991, since the killing of my late brother Jaime Buboy Jimenez Jr. by drug syndicate on December 20, 1990, I have witnessed personally, experienced various forms of corruption in our criminal justice system. A victim has to hurdle layers of corrupt practices in the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system, namely investigation, prosecution, the courts, penology, and the community pillar. It is not uncommon for a police investigator asking for gasoline, meals, or other favors for the investigation to move from victims of heinous crimes. A corrupt prosecutor receives bribes for a speedy or favorable resolution. Court hearings in the country are notorious for delays, resulting in the trial of the case stretching to an average of 7 years, which happened to my brother's case, to as long as 20 years. So-called hoodlums in robes, those judges or justices, are suspected of accepting bribes for favorable decision. Indiscriminate issuance of a temporary restraining order, or TRO, at the Court of Appeals has been reported. TROs are reportedly being issued to the highest bidder, with the sheriff allegedly acting as bagman. A case which has assisted in my NGO years demonstrates how corruption is tolerated from lower to the higher court. It was an expropriation suit initiated in October 1999 by the Philippine Ports Authority, PPA, in civil case number 5447, PPA versus Felipe Acosta et al. That centered in the matter of just compensation for the lots sought to be expropriated for the PPA for the expansion of the Batangas port. The Batangas RTC decided as just compensation the amount of 5,500 pesos per square meter against the PPA offered price of 500 pesos per square meter as fair market value of the lots as evaluated. The subject lots are being row-marshaled, swampy, and submerged in water. The PPA assailed the decision as disadvantageous to the government, as the lots were overpriced. The case went up to the Court of Appeals, which also approved the amount. It went to the Supreme Court. The PPA was then represented by the Solicitor General, and in 2009, the Supreme Court reversed the lower court's decision and pegged just compensation of 425 pesos per square meter. Its real value, not 5,500 pesos. I was a witness to the sale by the owners of the lot located in Batangas port of the PPA. Corruption is also rampant in the penology. The convicted murderer of my brother was able to escape using fake release papers, although he was rearrested. Special treatment is afforded to rich or influential inmates. The witness protection program needs strengthening to encourage more witnesses of crimes and corruption to come out. On the regional missions that we conducted so far, the Bicol mission, on April 26, April 2018, the PACC received a communication from the Office of the President directing the Commission to act on a letter sent to the President by Undersecretary Marvel Clavicilla of the Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs on April 21, 2018. The PABA or the PABA letter expressed the following concerns. The Calabanga Municipal Port, with ice plant and cold storage located at Sabang, Calabanga, Camarines Sur, costing 96 million, has remained unused and non-operational for 2 years since it was inaugurated by the previous administration on May 5, 2016. The responsible agency, Department of Agriculture, through the Philippine Fisheries Department Authority, has abandoned the project. They started a series of 5 fact-finding missions to Bicol to resolve the issue in Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, and Albay. conducted from June-September 2018. Initial findings and observations on vehicle missions reflect the following. 1. Certain infrastructure construction, anomalies and lapses in the practice of good governance involving local officials and government functionaries are noted for corruption. These irregularities, lapses, have resulted in defective of substandard infrastructure projects. Local politics are in the way of efficient and timely implementation. Completion and operationalization of projects experiencing delays. People are reluctant to expose corruption in the local government. Specific observations recorded by the Bicol Fact-Finding Mission, the Calabanga Municipal Fish Port and Terminal with ice plant and cold storage facility located at Barangay Sabang, Camarines Sur, costing 96 million, which was presented a while ago, was unveiled on May 5, 2016 by the officials of the Aquino administration, was not properly maintained and used for more than 2 years. The Calabanga breakwater is inferior construction. Negligence and grave incompetence were noted of certain projects of DPWH District 2, like the non-relocation of obstruction electric posts that have caused accidents. The Calabanga Infirmary, as shown a while ago. The Bicol Medical Center, located in Naga City, Camarines Sur, as discussed a while ago, has an allocation of 1.2 billion pesos. So, many patients now are lining up the streets in Bicol Medical Center. As for barangay health stations, allegedly costing 8.1 billion, a project of the Department of Health of the previous administration, 37 out of 70 barangays in Legazpi City alone have health stations at 1.2 million pesos, but none of the stations are completed. Only the floorings. And the contractor is billing the government of 1.2 million pesos. The Mindanao Mission, we sent fact-finding teams led by Commissioner Manuelito Luna, who just arrived this morning, to Region 10, Region 11, specifically in Davao City, Cagayan de Oro City, and Bukidnon. Last September 27, October 2 to October 2, 2018. We inquired on issues of the National Treasury and the National Irrigation Administration, among others. Now let's go to the conclusions. Our guests and the media, we are only 1 year old in paper, October 4, but 6 months in operation only. And the corruption situation in our country today continues to be alarming. Corruption in high places, corruption in the rank and file. Corruption is everywhere in the bureaucracies. Our critics, I'm pretty sure, will increase by the number. They will get back, and they will be criticized and probably even crucified. So this is what I told the commissioners and the office. But we will remain undaunted, and we will persevere. In conclusion, the following measures taken from the 10-point reform plan of the PACC or the VACC adopted in the Anti-Corruption Summit, it convened November 27, 28, is a working guide for the Commission. 1. All agencies under the President should set the stage for bureaucratic reforms, for heads of government to be accountable. Professionalize the civil service based on meritocracy and continuously increase the number of quality public workers proportion to the demands of good governance. Prompt and stern punitive actions for persistent corrupt practices of incompetence, inefficiency, kalakara, nepotism, balimbing, and patronage, as well as syndicated crime like plunder and violations of procurement of public goods without fear or favor. Publish immediately all plans, projects, and programs at all levels from all stakeholders, especially to the selection and procurement of goods and services in all the agencies. Modernize and innovate monitoring and database systems of transactions and reliable technology and independent public audit of at all phases of implementation, from inspection to the point of origin and or destination, ensuring that accepted technology should at all times be working, secured, safe, and accurate. And lastly, may I request my lastly, we urge Congress to change the government system of the country because it is rotten and corrupt. Para pong buslig, masamang damo. Yan po ang ating status ng corruption sa Pilipinas. Parang buslig na pag hindi mo tinanggal ang buslig, wala. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po. So, solution, I urge Congress again, we urge Congress to change the government system. And for decades, this has been perfected by those who are serving government. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman Dante La Jimenez. Now, we will have in front of us the commissioners, Rickson Chong, my friend Greco Bellica, Chairman Dante, Commissioner Luna, and Commissioner Contasio. Bubuksan po natin ang ating floor para sa mga questions mula po sa media. Si Enver, kasamaan ko sa Philippine Information Agency. We'll give the microphone, and perhaps kung meron po kayong mga question, please introduce yourself and your network or your media company. First question, any question from the media? Sa likod po.
Media. Mukhang kompleto na, sir, yung...
Mukhang kompleto na ba yung presentation? I'm sure there's a question at the back. Yun.
Question po. Question.
Meron tayo sa UNTV, boss, sa
Sir, ito na.
kanan. Yeah. Please introduce yourself and your network.
Yes, sir. JL Asayo po from UNTV. Sir, 6 months in operation po, no, yung PACC, and then may mga nakasuhan na rin po, tama po ba? Yes or no?
Yes.
How long, gaano po katagal kami makakakuha ng update para malaman po namin na naging successful yung pag-file ng case doon sa mga government officials? Kasi it has been like this na may nabalita, nakasuhan, ano na pong nangyari. So wala na po kaming update na nare-receive. That's why siguro nagpapatuloy din yung mga ibang government officials na gumagawa ng mga ganong klaseng corruption. So how long will it take para talagang mabigyan sila ng decision?
You know, you're asking us how long. How long? We ask the courts. We ask the prosecutors. How long? It is already beyond our control. But we, as reported to you, we have already filed so many in our 6 months of existence po.
Okay, sir, I understand po. The reason why I ask that, kasi yung follow through niyo po with the cases, kaya siguro tumatagal. Meron po ba kayang mga documents na dapat pang isubmit para talagang ma-proceed yung case?
Yung ibang mga kaso na final namin ay sa ombudsman, yung iba naman sa DOJ. In the case of the NAIA Terminal 3, si Commissioner Greco filed the cases with the ombudsman. May mga pending administrative cases with the departments concerned ng mga national government agencies. Pinapalo up po ito. We have a monitoring system, and no less than our Executive Director, Attorney Bringas, is on top of the situation. The commissioners are also doing their own chores in monitoring the developments of all these cases filed. Hindi po kami tumitigil just because na-file na po yung complaints. It's the rule in the commission is from commission to conviction. Binabantayan po namin ang Sandigan Bayan, ang Ombudsman, the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, and the other courts, and even the DOJ. Consistent po kami dyan. We hold dialogues and meetings, and we make follow-ups. Pag hindi po sinasubmit yung mga subpoenaed documents, ini-issuean po namin ng show cause order. So this is a different commission from its predecessors. We are very proactive, and Commissioner Greco can attest to this. He has been very, very active and in the forefront of the fight against corruption. At marami na pong na-entrap. At ito ay pending na ngayon sa Ombudsman.
Thank you po.
Clear lang po, the PACC only deals with administrative cases. So all our cases that has been submitted to the President were already decided on. They were asked to resign. Most of them was asked to resign, and their cases was forwarded to the Ombudsman. So for the criminal aspect of the case. So yun po ang limitation ng aming poder at kapangyarihan. Yan, sir. So right now, NAIA 14 officials po yan. The highest was an ASEC. Sa DOLE, isang USEC. Sa DOJ, it was, well, the secretary was asked to resign. Sa DOJ, siguro meron na kaming, sa NAIA rin, 3 rin yun sa DOJ. Sa DPWH, meron pong isa. Meron pong parating after this, mga I counted last night around 50 to 80 officials are being investigated for corruption allegation that should come out very soon.
Thank you, Commissioner Greco. And once again, for those who just tuned in, ito po ang unang anibersaryo ng pagpirma ni Pangulong Duterte na Executive Order number 43. Ito po yung executive order na gumawa ng Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission. So meron po tayong katanungan pa sa ating media.
Sir, good afternoon. Julius Gonzalez from Radyo Pilipinas. Sir, just recently nagkaroon po kayo ng MOA signing sa pagitan ng PACC at Commission on Audit, COA. So ano po yung nature nung MOA, yung pinirmahan?
Well, doon sa MOA with the Commission on Audit, what struck the attention of the Commission nung inaprubahan ng COA na magkaroon ng joint task forces. Ibang-ibang klase itong MOA namin with COA. It will be an action-driven MOA. Kaya si Chairman Mike Aguinaldo naman, natutuwa kami dahil pinirmahan namin po ito October 2 and this will be put into action. So, yan po ang maganda. We'll also have more agreements, action agreements with Ombudsman, with the AMLAC. Yan po.
Right. Any other questions?
Any more questions?
Sir, may question ba, sir? Nasa media, sir.
From the media
Sir, meron po dun sa likod, sir.
Sa likod meron?
May mic dyan sa gilid.
Good morning po, or good afternoon. Ako po si, I'm Jelly Mosico from Philippine News Agency. My question is for Chairman Jimenez. Sir, nabanggit niyo po kanina na in some areas of ng ating bansa, mayroong mga reluctant yung mga tao na mag-expose ng corruption sa kanilang mga lugar. And at the end of your explanation, sabi niyo, nanawagan kayo sa Congress na magbaguhin yung ating sistema ng government. At meron pong mga concern na doon po sa under ng federalism, tataas po yung mas dadami po yung mga lugar na parang makukontrol ng mga iba't ibang local government, mga leaders. So paano po, nakipag-coordinate po ba kayo sa CONCOM para maayos po yung, kung paano po masasawatan ng maayos yung ating corruption kasi po lalawak po yung mga local leaders na may hawak ng pera. So paano po ninyo ma-address yung ganyang panawagan po ninyo? Kasi po...
Ano yung unang tanong mo, please?
Kasi po nabanggit po ninyo na reluctant yung mga...
witnesses,
Opo, reluctant yung mga tao na to come up and join your...
That's why, we have requested the DOJ to strengthen the witness protection program. In fact, may mga problema din ang WPP natin. Marami po mga witnesses dyan nagre-report po sa amin, especially when I was with VACC, na masyado silang hindi tinatrato na maayos. How could you? Kung ganito sistema ng WPP, kailangan palakasin ang WPP. Paano nga naman lalabas ang mga complainant? Kita mo sa amin, nagmamaskara na lang muna para expose ang corruption sa BIR. Kasi ano to matagal na sa BIR, almost 2 decades. Now, doon sa ordinaryong tao, wala. It's either they are harassed or killed or any member of their family. Ganun po yun. Now, doon sa sistema, na-mention namin dito, in general, wala kami sinasabing particular. What we urge only Congress, because sila ang taga-frame ng Constitution at isasabit niya sa plebiscite, ayusin itong bulok na sistemang to, hindi ito pwede na. How many decades have been victims of this? Ilang mga negosyante na nabibiktima? You ask yourselves also. That is a public knowledge. Kaya kami dito sa commission, kahit na hindi pa kami masyadong ayos, bagong-bago lang kami, ay yun ang resulta po niyan. 6 months of our ulat sa bayan. So, Congress must do something about this.
Pero sir, meron po ba kayong suggestion na kung paano yung involvement ng mga tao ay lalo mapalakas para sila ay mag-participate sa fight against corruption?
One of the first resolutions we passed is the informer's reward. So, under the law, an informant can claim 25%, up to 25% of the ill-gotten wealth that has been recovered. So, number one. Number two, the person that reported will be kept confidential. He will not be exposed. So yun po. And number three, we are organizing voluntary associations and coalitions so that individuals and private persons can participate. And we are asking, maybe we can call out now lawyers and soldiers and church and religious people to come out and associate themselves in every region, municipalities, to give us informations about corrupt politicians and corrupt systems. The reports will be verified by the commission and submitted directly to the president and sent to the ombudsman for the criminal aspect of the case.
Thank you, sir. Last na po. Sir Chairman Dante, yung pong tanong ko po kanina na nakipag-coordinate po ba kayo sa CONCOM para po lalong mapalakas yung, kung halimbawa po mapalitan yung ating sistema ng government, ano yung mga guidelines, ano yung mga safety nets para lalo pong mapalakas yung fight against corruption sa kung mapasa po yung ating bagong system of government?
No. No.
Wala po kayong suggestion, sir, na
Alam mo, may mga personal yan. May official, but the PACC, I'm talking here as the chairman of the PACC, wala kaming ganun po.
Thank you, sir.
Siguro, mga individually, may kanya-kanyang perceptions yan. Pero sa amin po as a commission, we don't want to be politicized. Tandaan niyo po yun. And I already informed the commission about this. Habang ako ang chairman dyan, ayoko magagamit sa politika ang commission. Otherwise, we pack ourselves.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can I just add on to that? Questions. The first step to strengthen the fight against corruption is to build a strong justice system. Pag hindi napaparusahan ng corrupt, hindi titigil. Number one, pagpalit ng ating constitution, dapat i-restore ang death penalty for heinous crimes and corruption para napapatay ang corrupt. One. Number two, dapat i-simplify at pabilisin ang justice system para hindi na iipit ang mga kaso. The moment tumagal ang kaso, patay na yan. So, that is an advocacy that all of us has to further. The real problem of corruption, of criminality, is a corrupt justice system. Yun lang po yun.
Maraming salamat po sa Philippine News Agency. We still have room for 2 more questions.
Sir.
Habang naghintay tayo, meron po tayo mula sa ABS-CBN.
Sir, good morning. I'm Willard Cheng from ABS-CBN. Just to ask the Commission, ano pong balak niyong gawin doon sa impormasyon na isiniwalat ng whistleblower from the BIR? Does the Commission intend to conduct further investigation and eventually file a case?
Nahuli na po yun, tatlong yun. Tanggal na rin po yun. Yung tatlo nakita nyo po, I led the entrapment operations there. So wala na yung tatlong yun. Now yung informations po na inilabas niya has been accepted, and other informations bukod doon, sir, sa totoo lang, dagdagan ko lang yung inilabas ng ating witness. Sa BIR po talaga, walang ano dyan, hard fast rule. Kanya-kanyang tira po yung mga yan. So kung malulusutan nila yung regional, malulusutan nila yung commission, lulusutan nila. Kung nakatali sila ron sa commission, then nagbibigay sila. So other than entrapping them and catching the thieves, we really have to fix the tax system. Because the tax system is so complicated that there's so much room for corruption. We really have to simplify the tax system. That's why I've been always advocating for a simplified 10% flat. Kasi wala nang pag-uusapan flat tax. So that is beyond our power in the commission. That can be dealt in the in charter change of federalism po.
To add to that, no? Ito yung nabanggit ko kanina, I emphasize what? The accountability of the heads of agencies. Pag ikaw ay namumuno dyan, you were appointed by the President of the Republic, ensure that yung i-assume mo, walang mga garbage. Ang karamihan kasi, tanggap ng mga departamento dahil siya ay secretary, siya ay chairman. Dapat, sabi ng COA sa amin, magpa-audit. Talagang complete audit. Performance, finance, etc. Fraud audit. Yan ang suggestion ng COA sa amin. Tama naman. Kaya please, that's why nabanggit ko na, name names already. Attention, itong mga 4 na top corrupt ridden agencies. It doesn't mean na sila yung mga corrupt. No. Their department is ridden of corruption. Now, kung di wala kang magagawa, how many years na itong Duterte administration? More than 2 years na. Have you adopted some measures to curb the problem in BIR? In the Bureau of Customs? Remember, BIR is the biggest collector of money from the people. Hindi po gano'n, ang daling mabuti na lang kami sa commission, bagong created to, kaya wala akong ino-assume dito ng accountability. Yan lang po pwede kong i-address. Lalo na yung mga nagre-resign, make the previous administration be ilagay mo doon. May colatilla doon. Ito lang ang balanse sa pera ng Department of Finance. Ito ang mga performances ng mga personnel. Di po ba that's the proper way? Yun lang po.
Sir, a follow-up question lang po. Are you considering or thinking about setting a deadline for these agencies or heads of agencies to institute reforms to finally, once and for all, curb, if not stop, corruption?
That's a very good question. Pero alam ninyo, ang mga departamento sa executive ay pwedeng utusan lamang ng presidente. Meron pong limitasyon ng PACC tungkol dyan. But I'll give you a solution to that. It will answer your question. The Ease of Doing Business and Delivery of Government Services Act of 2018, Republic Act 11032, will give you the answer. Based on that law, you follow a formula, 3720. Pag ang simple request ay hindi mo inaksyonan in 3 days' time, kompleto ang requirements, that is deemed approved by operation of law. At mananagot administratively and criminally yung officer na nag-delay. Kung complex transaction, 7 days lang. Pag hindi inaksyonan, deemed approved by operation of law, mananagot yung concerned official na nag-delay para mangurap. Kung complex, very complex transactions like ECC, no, ng DNR, 20 days. Pag hindi inaksyonan kompletong requirements ng applicant, deemed approved, criminally and civilly liable and administratively liable yung nag-delay. That law imposes now deadlines. Now, insofar as case resolutions are concerned, kung sa korte, the Constitution provides the periods no, ng mga lower courts and even Court of Appeals and even Supreme Court. In our case, and in the case of the Ombudsman, yung aming own rules prescribe the periods. However, that is flexible kung complex ang issues. Kung simple ang issues ng kaso sa administrative, yung rules of procedure ng commission will apply. It provides for certain periods. So hindi na pwedeng gawing excuse ngayon yung mga inordinate delays. Kahit ang Sandigan Bayan, Ombudsman, PACC, national government agencies, pag sila ay nag-delay sa mga requests, applications, resolutions, mananagot sila dito sa Ease of Doing Business Law, RA 11032.
Thank you, Willard.
Hello, hello.
Maybe ABS-CBN, meron po tayong question?
I just like to add something. Secretary, I just would like to add something. On the legal aspect, no? The commission itself, no? We cannot order these government agencies under the executive department to make it faster, to make the service to the people faster. So what the executive department do under President Duterte is to have this executive order, the 3720 rule, to to give pressure to the other agencies to comply with that order, so that we can avoid criminal or administrative cases to be filed against them. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Meron pa tayong isang question mula po naman kay JL Asayo ng UNTV.
Sir, it's me po again. Sir, this season po, tungkol sa Bureau of Customs, this season, sir, the Bureau of Customs they are expecting for a volume ng mga shipment na papasok. So, kay Commissioner Bellica, sir, how are we, paano po tayo nakikipagtulungan or coordinate with the Bureau of Customs para masabat yung smugglers na patuloy pa rin nagpapasok ng mga kontrabando dito sa atin? Kasi lately, sir, sunod-sunod din yung kanilang mga operations. So, ibig sabihin, marami pa rin po sa loob, sa customs, na talagang gumagawa nito.
I've been coordinating with Commissioner La Peña, pero it's really beyond the jurisdiction of the Commission. Ang trabaho lang po talaga namin ay manghuli ng korap, mag-imbestiga, and file charges against them, and rekomenda sa Pangulo. Our recommendation to the President also involves systemic changes that we forward the agencies. My unsolicited advice, forgive me po, pero para buo lang ang ating kwento, dahil darating naman ang panahon, wala na kami lahat dito. They should practice number one, there are technologies that can simplify systems that they ought to use, number one. Number two, there are systems that are already being effective in other countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, San Francisco, that have very good custom systems. All you have to do is to go there and study their system and compare your systems with them. Ganun lang po yun. So, kung ano pong, yan po ay nasa desisyon ng ating Customs Commissioner Sid La Peña at saka ng ating Pangulo. Pero yun lang po ang aming ginagawa. Yung mahuli po namin itong NAIA, jewelry smuggling, ang kaagad ko pong pinagawa dyan ay ipinakabit ko po yung mga X-ray machines na naka-standby lang doon na hindi naman ginagamit, so that the handbags can be placed there. The problem is, the policy again is that handbags are voluntarily being placed. It has to be mandatory. So, ang problema naman nila doon, who has jurisdiction? And I think, kaya nilang gawin yun at dapat nilang gawin yun if talagang gusto nilang itigil ang smuggling operations. Policies has to be changed. Apo.
Sir, follow-up lang. Na-mention niyo po kanina yung jewelry. I think a month ago may gold expose na involved din yung mga ibang Bureau of Customs na sinasabing nasa position pa rin. Kamusta na, sir, yung investigation dito? Ano na pong nangyayari?
13 opisyal po yun. Ang hinuli po namin, ang sindikato niyan, Customs, MIAA, DOJ hanggang prosecutors, para pag nahuli mo sila, pagka nakataka sila sa Customs, nahuli mo sila, pagpunta nila sa prosecutor, kamag-anak pa rin nila. Andun po yun. Tapos yung sa MIAA, sometimes naman yung mga pulis-pulis nila ron, ang ginagamit po nila. Tapos, pag hindi naman umabot sa prosecutor's office, may tinatawagan naman silang kamag-anak nila sa DOJ. Yun po yung ASEC na natanggal po. So, it's really a complicated and complex syndicate that was that has been smuggling not only jewelry but drugs. We have information and we caught them with drugs. Now, okay, sabi ko na po sa inyo, yung nahuling 6.8 billion, connected sa parehong tao, nung nahuli namin sa NAIA. Yun po yun.
Thank you po.
Thank you, JL. Meron din tayo mula sa DZMM kay Dexter Ganibe.
Hi sir, good morning. Bahagi nung accomplishment report yung isinagawang pag-iimbestiga kaugnay ng Bicol mission. Ano na po ang legal na hakbang na ginawa ng PACC doon sa mga posibleng involved o may mga kinalaman kaya hindi nagagamit o naitayo yung kalsada sa hindi tamang kalalagyan?
Okay, ito yung latest. Sa BMC, yung Chief of Hospital has been fired by the DOH through the recommendation of the PACC. But of course, that's recommendatory. Ang ating Pangulong Duterte ang umaksyon dito. She has been sitting on the job for so long, the government suffered undue injury doon sa 1.2 billion Bicol Medical Center. Yung district engineer sa Camarines Sur, 3rd District, if I'm not mistaken, 2nd District, yung DE, ay under investigation yon. Kasi merong mga kalsada, bridges, and other infrastructures na under sa kanyang monitoring and implementation ay nakitaan ng PACC ng mga anomalya at delayed po ang mga projects na ito. At no less than Yusek Labesilla brought to our attention itong mga kapalpakan itong district engineer. And most likely, we will recommend harsh actions against her. Hindi lang administrative, but even criminal. Kasi ang gobyerno dito ay nalugi ng milyon-milyon. I just cannot... but Chairman wants to name the district engineer. Chairman. Na muna kasi we have to respect also our processes. Pero no less than the office of Yusek Labesilla, which is under the office of the President, has complained to us. At nakita po namin, imagine nyo isang bridge doon, pagkasemento, just a few weeks after, nag-cave in yung pavement ng bridge. Napakalaking mga butas ang na-develop doon. Tapos ang sabi sa amin ng district engineer, kasi po natulog yung driver ng cement mixer, kaya yung semento hilaw. Pero inayos naman daw po ng contractor, tinakpan yung mga butas. You know, a bridge cannot be constructed like that. Dapat isang buhos or dalawang buhos para yung foundation niyan at saka yung pavement, isang solid na block. Pag merong butas, tapos tatakpan mo lang, i-vulcanize mo, katulad ng isang interior ng tire, hindi na yan buo. And it will never be like the brand new. May depekto yan, babaksak yung bridge. So you can just imagine yung ganong klaseng reasoning. That's in Bicol. Now, I just came came back from Davao, where we had the first round of the Mindanao mission. Nag-complain ng isang city sa Region 9, yung over 3 billion project ng NHA sa Zamboanga City. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa tinatanggap ng city yung turnover. Bakit? Substandard, di umano, yung mga housing units at saka bridge na na-construct ng NHA doon through a contractor. Nahulog ang mayor ng Zamboanga together with Congressman Lobregat and Congressman Benitez doon sa isang bridge na 12 million ang value, no? Doon sa Zamboanga. Now the city has asked the PACC to conduct motu proprio ocular inspection ng over 3 billion Z3R projects sa Zamboanga City. We call on the NHA to explain about this. It's anomalous kaya hindi tinatanggap. Almost 3 or 4 years na ngayon since na-construct yung projects, hindi tinatanggap ng city government of Zamboanga. Sa NIA, in Central Mindanao, ang aming resource persons complained to us that there are 2 dams in Maguindanao and 1 in Pikit, North Cotabato na nagsimula pa nung time ni FBR hanggang ngayon, hindi matapos-tapos. Multi-billion peso projects ng NIA. What is happening to NIA? Bakit ganito? The people in Maguindanao have complained to us. The people of North Cotabato have complained to us. At no less than the chairman has ordered validation over these projects, kung totoo ba yan o hindi. So you can just imagine the scale of corruption in our government. Kaya ang ating presidente, hindi natin ma-blame. Why sometimes he issues statements na siya ay napapagod. Di ba? Kasi sobra na po yung corruption sa ating gobyerno. And there are officials who are just sitting on the job, not doing anything. Yung NHA regional director ng Region 9, when I asked him, bakit ganito, substandard yung project sa Zamboanga? Sabi niya, sir, hindi ko naman kapanahunan yan eh. I just inherited that problem from the former NHA regional manager. Sabi ko, ikaw na nakaupo dyan ngayon. What have you been doing? Bakit hindi tinatanggap ng city? What have you been doing to remedy the situation? Wala kang ginagawa because you are passing the blame on your predecessor. Hindi pwede yun, ladies and gentlemen.
Salamat po. We have a question from Business Mirror. Samuel.
Mag-inquire lang po sana ako regarding po doon sa breakdown ng cases kanina na nabanggit po nila, yung 59 cases na verifiable. Saan po baling mga agencies galing po yun? Sa karamihan po ba executive, legislative, or sa judiciary po?
Okay, you're referring to the verifiable complaints. Yan po ay unang-una, JP, i-post mo yung how to file complaints na sa PACC. Unang-una, yan po ay galing sa Office of the President. We don't accept complaints directly sa amin. Pero pwede na kami tumanggap ng mga complaints pagka napadala na ng Office of the President po yan. Kaya kami very, very careful because remember, we are under the Office of the President. So, in that sense, yung mga verifiable yan, ongoing na po yun. Yan po ay dire-diretso na. We'll now be conducting already fact-finding dyan. We'll be conducting already or requesting some agencies to conduct investigations together with us. Ganun po yun. So, rest assured, yung nilabas namin na yun, sinasabi namin verifiable because we have already some documents to support that. Hindi katulad ng napakarami, excited masyado mga kasababayan natin, pero please naman, bago nyo padala po sa Office of the President, kumpletuhin nyo. Para hindi namin mahirapan kasi kami sa commission po, Kakaunti pa lang tao namin. Pero of course, hindi excuse yan. Nakita nyo naman, 6 months pa lang, petmalo na. Thank you.
One more. Sam, one more.
Sir, i-clarify ko lang po. So lahat po ng cases sa executive lang po?
Meron yan, iba-iba yan, coming from other branches of government. Marami po yan. Yun lang, siyempre, we have to be very careful. Because ang aming mandate really is executive mga appointed ni Presidente, salary gauge 26 up. But, hindi po yan ibig sabihin hanggang doon lang kami. Kung kayo ay in connivance, kayo mga salary grade 25, in connivance, in cahoots, with the staff officials, tatamaan din kayo yan. We will be recommending already. So what we're doing, especially in our department and agency dialogue, for your information, may mga iba pang hindi ayaw makipag-meeting sa amin. Ewan ko ba bakit? There are about I think out of 20 departments. Departments lang hindi pa yung mga ibang, ano pa lang, almost 15 na. What happened now to the 5 departments? We've been asking you to meet with us because otherwise, by October 15, binigyan namin sila ng target date, sabi ko sa commission, we will never already have a meeting dialogue. 2 months na yun. Pwede ba isingit nyo na kami dyan? We want to meet and dialogue with you because that is the instructions of the President para hindi nila misunderstood ang PACC para maganda ang working relationship. That's how we work. See? So, take the case sa DND. Yun nangyari sa Viluna. That is a working relationship between DND and the PACC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. Our last question, ma'am.
Edith Fider po from the Samahan ng mga recruitment agencies laban sa korupsyon. Hihingi lang po kami ng update tungkol po dun sa mga mga isiniwalat po ng mga ibang recruitment agencies tungkol po sa mga anomalya sa DOLE at saka sa POEA.
Thank you. Yung aming validation ay tapos na. So, that is already for resolution ngayon, no? You are referring to the complaints filed by 3 groups.
Yes po.
Asisa Salim, tapos yung kay Ali Dizon, and kay Amanda Araneta. That is already for resolution na. Tapos na kami sa validation. Pero recommendatory lang po ang aming action dyan. Tapos kung merong criminal aspect, i-refer most likely namin sa ombudsman yan. So, tapos na yan insofar as we are concerned, except that we have to draft the report para isubmit sa ating Pangulo. But of course, the NBank will have to tackle that first kung anong gagawin talaga. No? Kasi very voluminous ang records. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat po. Edith, palakpakan po natin ang ating mga officers ng Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, Chairman Dante Jimenez, kaibigan kong Greco Belica, Attorney Rickson Jong, of course, kasama natin Attorney Manuel Luna at Commissioner Greg. At lahat po ng mga kasama natin sa media na nagpunta po dito para i-cover itong unang anibersaryo na Executive Order number 43. Maraming salamat po sa The Manila Times, GMA, ABS-CBN, Filipino Mirror, PT Forms, DZRD, CNN Philippines, Manila Bulletin. Nandito rin po ang UNTV, ating mga kasamaan sa PIA, PTV4, RTVM, PCOO, PNA, TV5, at Business Mirror. Kung meron akong nakaligtaan, pasensya na po. Pero salamat po sa inyong lahat. Once again, this has been the presser, ang official press conference po ng ating gobyerno. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Thank you po.